Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Resistance. We're going to talk about some intraday trades, one swing trade that we closed and reopened, and just a general theme of why things happened the way they happened today. Now, you may have noticed that the market was sort of not performing very well yesterday. Big sell-off in the Asian session. You know, the Kospi, which is the index for Korea, tanked 9.99%. So I'm not sure if that's a limit down or not, but it definitely sunk really hard yesterday. That contributed to our SGM short yesterday, and it also contributed to a bunch of Asian markets not performing very well, and the QQQs tanking 3%. So a large part of the Korean market is tech, and of course NASDAQ being a tech index, gap down as well. Now, I don't think the Korean market is enough to bring down the Qs. To me, it's just like a temporary thing. It's like, oh, okay, we're gapping down and then we should probably drift right back up. I don't see that as a real catalyst for holding the Qs down, which is the tech index. So yeah, so the idea is to be very cautious that it's not just going to be a tank and recovery day for today. So the idea was kind of just to be short on everything and just cautiously, but also be long on healthcare, which is the only thing that really performed in the US. Now, TLX performed really well in Australia, and it didn't really have a gap up, which, you know, it's really unfortunate, but I didn't take my own call, and it just, yeah, it shot up really nice today. Really, really nice. What was it, 6%, I think it was? 8%. Wow, what a killer. 9% at its peak today. So, unfortunately, didn't get any bar of that. What I was really interested in was MP1, again a tech name, so we can see that it sold down yesterday and it's kind of doing this bounce, and I was expecting it to just kind of be a bit of a fake out, perhaps a breakthrough VWAP, which is what it was. So it sort of triple topped and then started rolling over, and it was just building a short from here around 2025, just small starter, add on through VWAP, and then it comes down and it's like, okay, cool. There was a little bit of concern around $20 because it's a round number. You know, it's very close to VWAP, just a few ticks away. Whether that would hold, starts to break down, and then it just shoots up on high volumes. And it's just like, well, fuck. Okay, we're breaking even on this one. So MP1 was an unfortunate trade. We're going to take a look at SGM. Now, we also talked about the levels on SGM yesterday. But first, we'll go through why I closed in the morning session. So we have this breakdown from the morning. So just a few minutes, we had this really high volume wick down. Mind you, the stock was going back up, right? It was hitting around 2740, and then the high volumes came and smoked it back down. And I was just looking for this breakdown, but then nothing happened. We again hit VWAP again, and basically just had to close it. So if after high volumes, and after the first 5 minutes and nothing's happening, right? Selling happens quickly, guys. So that's just one thing about shorting, is it happens quick. Going long doesn't necessarily happen quick. It can go quite slowly. Depends if there's a catalyst or not. But just generally speaking, on a day-to-day where there's no catalyst, you know, stocks move slowly to the upside. But when they sell down quick. So if nothing happens, and this was what I was looking at, I was like high volumes, like bam, it got smoked. It's like, okay, let's make new lows. Let's test $27. Instead, it's hovering around this weird 27.13 level. I don't even think there's anything there. And yeah, just cut it. I was like, okay, it's not performing. I'll cut it. And then I just left it for the rest of the day, and I did end up coming back to it towards the end of the day, right in the afternoon session at 27.99 is my average for this short. So it could have got, you know, another 21 ticks, not realistically, maybe another, you know, 15 or so. But you know, it's coming back to this sort of pivot that we're looking at. And I did say I didn't want it to close above or look above this level, but whatever, retests it. I don't really care about that. So I'm holding it short overnight, and that is because non-ferrous metals are not performing at the moment. So we have copper futures here, which are under support. You guys might remember we traded HCH on this bounce here, this really strong bounce. And yeah, it's just not holding support at the moment. So looking rough at the moment. Let me just bring up, where is the after hours? We'll have a look at the after hours, the real time. So this is pre-market in the US, which is very active, mind you. This is pre-market as well, kind of sold down quite a lot yesterday. and during the session, didn't do very well, came below support, and now it's holding below. We also have COPEX, which is the ETF. Now this one I'm not too fussed by. It's nice that it's gapping down for me. Like it's down quite a lot. It's down -6%, which is huge. I was tempted to take hot chili short, so HCH. I might give it another day and see how it reacts. It kind of wasn't really doing what I expected. There wasn't this big sell-off like I anticipated, and just the strength in holding up above $2 was, and just going sideways. I just wanted no part of that. It just looked too strong, given the price action of copper and given the breakdown on COPEX. So I was like, all right, I might regret not taking that short, but that's okay. I'd rather take longs, to be honest, but in this case, I just sat it out. Whatever. I got my SGH. So SGH, even though in terms of tonnage, doesn't do much for copper, it yields the highest in terms of like the rate they get from copper. So the price of copper basically is more than whatever else they're doing in terms of tonnage. So yeah, so copper being down, all the other metals are down as well. We'll see if they recover tonight. Hopefully not. So basically I just effectively got almost the same price for SGH as I did, sorry, SGM. Yeah, so I basically got the same price for SGM as I did yesterday. And given what's happening with metals at the moment, I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, copper's not recovering. Nickel wasn't performing either from memory. What am I missing here? Nickel, I've got the wrong few. Yeah, it's coming off hard. So yeah, I mean, there's no reason SGM should be holding up. I'd love to see it come off tomorrow, but we'll see what happens on the Qs. We'll see what happens on the metals as well. And yeah, that's just an overarching thought process behind SGM and the short there as well. So hopefully I got it right. Hopefully I got the thesis right. Hopefully I got the direction right, and we'll see. So again, with SGM, the idea is going to be the exact same. It's going to be that if there's any green tomorrow on open, I'm very likely going to cut it. I don't see a scenario where this goes green, even if it's like $28.30 or something like that. I don't see a scenario where I'm holding this long if it gaps up. There is one scenario I do lie, and that is if metals come off hard and this gaps up for some reason, then I would absolutely go heavy on this short to see what it would do on match. And then if it doesn't work on match, I'd cut it within a minute or two, because like if it gaps up and all the metals are coming down, the ETFs are down, this should get punished pretty hard. And if it doesn't, then I'll just cut. Then whatever, thesis wrong, I'll move over to something else. So that's my thought process for that one. Wise Tech almost buried me today. This could have been rough. So Wise Tech, I'll show you the guys the 15-minute chart. So this is what it was looking like. I thought there was going to be a bit of a fake move above 32.50, and it kind of did, and then came off with, it ended up red on the 15-minute chart. I was like, okay, I'll start my short early. So I shorted on both my accounts, and on my main one, my main one, I just kept adding every 50-cent increment. So 33, 33.50, 34. And I kept adding short. So this was absolutely going to destroy me if it didn't fade in the afternoon. Now, there is a play here, and it's not a very common one. This was back during the 2021, 2022 sort of era of trading, where if I just show you guys this chart here, where it just rallies, and I'm talking exactly like this chart on the 1 minute, on the 3 minute, whatever you look at, it just goes, I don't even want to call it parabolic. It's just a channel, just a straight up vertical looking channel, just like that. Beautiful, barely hovers outside of that channel. That kind of setup used to always fade, and it would look so spooky how accurate this would work. It'd just be a 2:30 p.m. fade. That's all it was. It was just ride it if you were lucky enough to ride it. And then if you weren't lucky enough, you just wait for 2:30. You'd short it at like 2:28 p.m. Sometimes it'll be like give or take 5 minutes either side of 2:30, but it was spookily accurate. and it'll just be a fade. It'll just completely come off. And that's kind of what happened, except this was more like 2 o'clock. So I'm wondering if that 2:30 has changed to 2 o'clock. But mind you, we haven't seen one of these 2:30 fades or 2 o'clock fades now, I guess, since, well, a couple of years at least. So whether this is still a thing or not, I'm not sure. There's only maybe been, or there's at least been one instance where this just keeps going to the upside. And then the only recollection I can have of a stock doing this and then closing at its highs is ZipPay back in, I think it might have been 2020 or 2021, where it literally did this, went up, and instead of pulling back, it went sideways for a bit and then just monstered into the close. And I remember that quite vividly because it was one of my biggest losses of all time. It's also where I coincidentally learned the PCP setup, which is one of the most profitable setups that I have. The consolidation at the highs and then a pop. So I learned off that one, so I've made my money back thanks to learning that setup. But yeah, so it's extremely rare for a just pure vertical channel to not pull back. But what I did was I caught it early, 32.50. I was seeing weakness here, got the short. Expected, because what I was seeing in the price action here, I was expecting a pop and a fake out at worst. But what ended up happening is a pop looking like a fake out, and then it just popped again. I was like, okay, cool. We'll just start adding on at 33 as it comes off, and then 33 was fine, 33.50. And basically, this is just ego trading at this point, not wanting to be wrong, just fade, fade, fade. So we ended up marginally in the money at around 33. I think my average was 33.20, 33.21, something like that. So I did progressively add on heavier and heavier to bring up the average, and then thankfully that happened. And honestly, it's not a strategy I'd ever recommend anyone. Yeah, I guess there was some confidence coming into 2:30 as well. And if it did come to 2:30, I was really, really willing to risk a lot at that point in time, mostly because we just don't ever see this happen ever. It's super rare now. It only happens in like hyper bullish markets, and we're not in a hyper bullish market by any stretch of the imagination. This is simply a bounce trade from the massive sell-off on WTC that we had over the past few days. As you can see, just a huge bounce. But that 2:30 fade seemed inevitable to me. Thankfully, it came a little bit earlier. Just, it was a stressful trade, and I traded it incorrectly. Ultimately, it was an incorrect trade. It probably should have been a cut. I was taking on 4.5% risk, and it's, the irony of that is I talk about how risk management is key, but ultimately, I am human at the end of the day, and didn't trade robotically. And the one thing I didn't want to do on this was in and out. That's something I also have a habit of doing on larger denomination stocks, like, particularly around $30, $40, $50, where the idea is correct, but it just shoots just a few cents, and then I get out, and then it comes off. So I'm like, okay, I'll fade into this as it keeps going. So there was some thinking behind it, but I kind of let it go on for a little bit too long. And dare I say, if this kept going to like 3 o'clock to the upside, then I would have had to have cut just based on timing more than anything. It's like, okay, the 2:30 fade's not coming. Probably would have been 2:45 p.m. And that's kind of the rationale there. But I'm glad we ended up in the green on this, but it could have absolutely been just nasty. Just a nasty trade, particularly because I was adding on heavier and heavier as it was going up. So it's it's better than adding heavy and then going lighter and lighter and lighter. I mean, in my mind anyway, that could have just been pointless. So yeah, that's WiseTech, that's SGM, MP1, Kospi, QQQ, and Copper all in a nutshell. And hopefully, guys, we see some performance. I didn't really take any other swings. I was eyeing some things off, but I'm still kind of in the waiting phase, looking for a setup. Things are coming off, and I want to catch some stuff at support, but not quite yet. I might give it a couple of more days, and I'll show you guys what I'm looking at in the next video. All right, guys, peace.